go.
There you go.
And now I have to put, there's this one. Hey everybody, guess who I've on today? Daniel.
Where?
I'm like, where is he? He's under that hat somewhere. Are you in Vermont or where are you right now?
Yeah, but I was born and raised in Vermont, Jenny.
I know, it's very exciting. And they probably have snow up there right now, which we haven't up in the mountains here. But anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about today. So Daniel Hall.
Oh, we might.
We might. Yes, we might talk about that too, because it's a little chilly here. So we're going to begin with the end in mind, right?
We are. Sure. So.
And then I'm going to introduce you after that.
Yeah, part of my life pivoted. One of the pivots in my life was when I worked at Vermont Yankee, Vermont, which is a nuclear power plant. And it was a software development job. But I really got interested in Stephen Covey. And one of the 7 habits, especially. And the first habit is begin with the end in mind. And that was back in 96. And throughout the rest of my life, it occurred to me that, maybe I wasn't living my life, as, beginning with the end in mind. It would be, okay, I'm working on this project. What's the end look like? I'm working on this. What's the end look like? And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, I need to be focused on what my life looks like, what the end of my life looks like, and what I want to do. So beginning with the end in mind is, what does Dan want to accomplish in his life before I pass? And on my epitaph, I wanted it to read, a man that learned to reciprocate kindness by failing often. And for me, that seemed like a great path to lead.
And with that, now I'm going to introduce you, because we just talked about the end of your life, not the beginning, right? So Daniel he's gone from struggle as a youth, and he's inspiring. He's resilient. He's a resilient dad. He has 5 kids, 5 adopted kids. No, 5 kids that are not adopted. 1 kid.
6 adopted.
6 adopted. Sorry.
One biological that lives in.
Yes, actually, Vermont. I had this on my notes too. He's in Vermont, exactly. He's actually representing Vermont for his son.
Absolutely.
But I know, isn't that great? So now he's a resilient dad, software engineer, mentor to foster parents. I mean, this guy has it all going down. So he grew up in foster care from age 2 to 5. This is very important because he was beaten, verbally abused, told he would never amount to anything. So how many of us don't think Daniel's amounted to anything? Not me. Hands up.
And that's part of the failure.
Raise your hands, please. I know, right?
Yeah, that's part of the failure.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
So about 15 years ago, this is awesome right here. He didn't give a shit about anyone or anything. LinkedIn, don't cancel me, okay? But we'll get back to that later, why he felt like that and why he was saying that he didn't amount to anything. Or wouldn't amount to anything. He has his children, his wife Tina. They're the bright lights of his life. He's going to talk about that later too, and why they are. So many of us know Olivia Bella Parker,
Yep.
And your other kids?
Gabriella and Courtney and my son Ethan in Vermont.
Vermont. Yes. So anyway, it's amazing. His life has just been amazing. Maybe he'll tell us about some of the things he does a little bit underground, maybe a little shady. That's the best part, right? We always like the shady part.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, who would have thought that Dana would do that?
Oh, the life hacks? Oh, absolutely. I hack all the time.
He's a professional gray hacker. Is that what you call it?
I would call it that. Some people might call it something else, but I don't care.
But they know exactly what you're doing.
Yes,
You tell them,
gray
right?
hat. Gray hat is gray hat hacker is, you're going in there without permission and uh, without malicious intent, but you make your findings public, and that's what I do. Clubhouse was a great example of that.
So, did Gary Vee know that you did that?
I tagged him. I think that's about the extent of it. When I hacked into that room, he was talking about NFTs. So
there you go. About that.
And the spreadsheet still posted up on my post.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
You're hilarious. So I'm proud of you for that, I guess. But I will tell you, I just got a letter from a doctor's office yesterday. Oh, we think your information has been, compromised. So please get in touch with transparent, what's it called? TransUnion, Experian, blah, 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 like all those things. I'm like, really? So I have to do that now? Well, that's not fun. Oh, look at that. And guess who's here? Emily. Emily and Tim are here.
Hi, Tim.
Yeah. So, but Tim is very excited that you're going to share your story. So Danielle, thank you.
Appreciate you, Tim.
Today. Yes, thank you, Tim. And Emily is awesome too. I should be meeting her in December with her daughter.
That is going to be awesome.
I know, it's going to be great. So, tell me a little bit more about your life and how all this has happened. And you have adopted parents now, correct? That you grew up with.
Yeah, both my parents are passed. My mom died when I was 21, and my dad just passed last year. And they were the catalyst. I could have taken my life down a whole different path of I could be in prison now, and it's because of them. And let's address. I know one of the things that I wanted to talk about is why I didn't give a shit about people or anything.
Right.
And what I learned is because my foster dad would tell me, you're nothing but a piece of shit. You wouldn't amount to anything in life. That stuck with me. So I always lived my life not, just thinking that. And I didn't know how to process emotions and those feelings. Everybody else is feeling, somebody dies. I could have cared less. Well, it's not really that I could have cared less. That's how I saw it, but I didn't know how to process it.
Right.
And when I say my wife and our children are our biggest teachers in life, they have given me that capacity to love, to the ability to process all these emotions. And when I hear stories about kids getting hurt and stuff, I tear up because that could be a situation for one of my kids or one of our kids. And it was more of a processing issue with my brain at that time. And Tina, my wife, just has this amazing way of reaching into your soul and just finding the best parts and pulling those out and capitalizing on them. She does it with me, and she does it with our children.
Yeah. So, tell us some of your struggles that you've had with the kids since you didn't necessarily grow up in that type of home yourself. And why did you decide to adopt children in the first place?
So you asked what struggles we have with our kids?
Yeah.
Every day is a struggle for them. It is really a struggle because not only are they dealing with, all the things that all the baggage that they were born with, fetal alcohol, autism, reactive attachment disorder. And a lot of people don't know that attachment starts at 5 weeks in utero. It doesn't happen when a baby's born. So everything you do to your body, that impacts that attachment cycle. And we have, our our last four children, our youngest four, were all drug and alcohol exposed. So that attachment is just wiped off, even when they're born. So you have to build that up year after year. That's one of the struggles. And I think the biggest struggle is just understanding that when you foster or adopt, you may have children that just don't love you. They want a safe place to call home. And, it might take them 40 years, like me, to understand all the work that you put into raising them. I mean, when I turned 40, I called up my dad and I was just crying. And, I told him he was my hero because I saw myself for the first time through when we had our first placement of two little girls, 4 and 8. I saw myself for the first time as a little boy with all the behaviors, the lying, the stealing, everything. So it was an eye opener.
Who's here? Jimmy Fagan is here, and he's
Hi,
our
Jimmy.
LinkedIn. Yes, he is our LinkedIn. Let's say there, our LinkedIn user. Yeah, he's our LinkedIn user. So, but how exciting though that you have actually adopted them and taken care of them, because when they were born, you said they had to go into is it called NCU or NCIU or something?
Probably a NICU. Yeah, NICU. Our last, our youngest, she was born addicted, and she had to spend 2 weeks in 2 weeks in detox.
Yeah.
And about a month later, a part of her small intestine had died, and she had to have what's called an intercession, which is where they actually cut off that dead part of the small intestine and reattach it. So, yeah,
it's pretty intense right there.
So I think the biggest challenge is just all the teaching them self-regulation, and it's not always easy. You have to really get inside their heads and take whatever you're feeling and put it aside and check in with their brain. This is what my wife calls listening with more than just your ears. It's having that empathic skill of knowing that they're hangry or knowing that they didn't get enough sleep, and just validating that with them. Oh, buddy, it's like this morning. Our oldest boy he's having a moment, and when their brains get so fixated on that moment, it's like you can't talk them off the ledge. And it gets crazy. And I calmed him down by saying, you know what, buddy? I got it. You didn't get enough sleep. Come here. And his natural reaction is like, no, 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 no. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. And then you keep approaching and you put your arms around him and he just falls into there and the tears start flowing. And he's like, okay, buddy, I understand. I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. It took me about 5 or 10 minutes to understand that you're just so tired. I get it. Let's get moving with our day. Get your clothes, get dressed, and we'll move on. Okay?
Yeah.
So
what are they doing in school now?
They're doing great. They're doing great. Our youngest boy, he has adjusted very well. He's autistic, and he has started up the year rough because everything changed for him again. He had a different aide with him that was different than the last 3 years, and it just threw him off kilter. So, but he's adjusting very well, and all of them are adjusting very well.
Yes.
So,
and how about your daughter, who's a dancer? She still loves to dance.
2 dancers, yes, yeah. Our youngest is dancing. She is dancing and taking gymnastics, or kind of what they call it, acro. But it's more tumbling than anything. And our one of our teenage daughters, the youngest teenage one, is tap, ballet, jazz, and now she wants to get into pointe. but she's been dancing for 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Since she was really little. Yeah.
It's wonderful. So I was going to ask you about, so we talked about I didn't give a shit about anyone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But who's influenced you the most on LinkedIn and why?
There's so many people, Jenny. The first person that really understood me was Janiyah Iqbal. He really just showed up for me quite a bit. My brother, Dave, who was my biological brother, had died last year of glioblastoma. And I was in a hard place because he was my best friend. He was really my only true friend in life. And I was lost. And Janiyah and I just hit it off, and we talked. And he's like, you know what? You got a really cool story. You should go on and just to tell your story. And I started doing that. Gabe Leal had me on his show. Appreciate him so much. Travis Lochner and Nick Lozano, just some amazing folks. And, Tim's, Tim, I thought you were my bestie, man.
I did too. I'm like, excuse me, you just came out of my show. But you have this other woman in Ohio. Like,
just kidding, Tim. And I was reading 13 Steps to Riches last night, volume 3, and reading Brian Schulman's chapter. And it hit me that Brian is just such an extraordinary human being. Him and Nancy and Tim, just extraordinary human beings. How it's almost like they reel you in, and it's just once you're in, it's. I don't want this to take this the wrong way, but it's almost like when you're in their tribe, it's almost like Hotel California. And you don't want to miss what's next, because everybody is just so welcoming, and everybody just has this way about them of just supporting each other. And if I look back at the origin to that, Janiyah was that. And you like your bacon, there's 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So if you look at those 7 degrees of Janiyah Iqbal, the list is long of people that he's connected to, that he's connected. And that path of meeting him, and meeting Tim and Brian and Nancy and you especially.
Thank you,
Jenny. Yes, absolutely.
Want some bacon? Would you like some bacon? I have some right here. Actually, you have some too.
Yes, I do. Some plastic bacon though.
But this is real bacon. Look who's here. Robert in Alaska made it.
With his Velociraptors.
I know.
I love his Velociraptors.
You never know what he's going to come out with the next.
Thank you, Emily, for showing up. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You too, Robert.
Robert likes his hearts. Yes, I met Robert in Tim's class.
Oh, awesome.
At that point, we never knew if he was okay, because we're like, why did he just go away? Like, he would go away for like 20 to 25 minutes. We're like, is he okay? Then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, I'm back. We're like, oh, that's good. We're like, did Bear get him? Did polar bear? We never knew what was going on with him. He's okay now. Yeah. But no, I'm so glad that I met you, though, because your story is just something that people need to hear. And I really hope that people get to hear this, because the man behind the mask, there's a little mask here, and people don't know that. Although you do like the masks.
Yes, I do. Right? Yeah, I do. When it's when there's snap filters, let me. I don't have the snap. We'll pull up one of those masks here. Let me see if I can find.
See, I don't have the snap filter because Tim was supposed to show that to me, because it actually crashed my old computer. So I'm gonna try that again.
All right.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Or we can put on a real mask, and it can be like Morgan Freeman.
Oh, actually, where's Mark Lee?
Yeah. All right.
That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, so tell me a little about why you want that to be your epitaph on your
Epitaph.
epitaph. See, I didn't say it
Yeah,
right, you guys. And
that's
he just
okay.
told me to say, like what they put on your
Like an
tombstone,
EpiPen. Epitaph.
an EpiPen.
Yeah.
I have the
Yeah.
EpiPen.
Epitaph. Yeah.
Then you might need that.
Yeah.
You might be in the ground. But yeah, so you told us why you came up with that or why that means so much to you. But do your children
Yeah.
understand that?
My children don't understand it, and I haven't really said that to them.
Okay.
But they're the catalyst for that,
Right.
because when the poop is hitting the fan
Right.
and we have to work our way through it, especially with all the dynamics, kindness and listening
Right.
with more than just your ears, as
Mhm.
Mama would say. Um,
Right.
when you do that, you understand that your ego is put aside,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just
Yeah.
it's almost like people talk about flow when they're getting into a flow, with their
Right.
work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's work. This is another kind of work as a parent. And that flow of working with our children has helped me to understand that you're giving of yourself. You might not ever get anything back in return from your kids. I saw that in myself because it took me 40 years. And
Yeah.
so that, when we talk about learning to reciprocate kindness, that's through them.
Mm-hmm.
And learning to reciprocate kindness by failing often. It's not that I think of myself as a failure. If
Right.
you look at yourself in the mirror and other people look at you, there's going to be other people that see you as a failure. And that's my way of reminding myself that it's okay if somebody sees me as a failure, because honestly, I don't care. I've learned to
Mm-hmm.
just let that side of it go and keep focusing on what's important, which is being kind and showing up
Right.
for my family and showing up for those that I really care about.
Yes.
Yep.
I agree. I have a question for you about imposter syndrome. So have you,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like the word right now. I was actually interviewing people about this a year ago, and I was like, what exactly is that? But I think for the COVID thing, has that affected you at all? Is that like affected how you think about yourself? Or do you think your kids have gone through that? Even though our
We
kids.
I don't think so, only because I was working from home 6 months prior to COVID
Mhm.
hitting. We
Yeah.
had moved all of our operations to work from home
Okay.
prior to that. So we were already in that cycle. So we got into that cycle before this even hit.
Right.
And so it didn't really phase us that much.
Mhm.
The thing that phased us a lot was when the kids had to be homeschooled. Well, not homeschooled, but be at home and distance learning. That was, oh my gosh, holy heck. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that was definitely a strain, especially with all the dynamics and,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting because I was kind of at home anyway, so it wasn't really affecting me. But that's when I met all of you because all of a sudden everybody else was at home, right?
Yep.
And so when I came out with when I was doing my Zoom tapings of my clients and everything and uploading those, for me that was normal. But then all of a sudden everybody's going live and Tim's like, "Do you want to go live?" And I'm like, "Okay." And I didn't even know like people were doing this on LinkedIn because I had the thought process of LinkedIn a different way, like most people do. And
Yeah.
now I don't see it that way anymore. Right. So it's been very interesting meeting all these people. By the way, going back to what Emily was saying and some other people were saying about Emily didn't say this actually, it was somebody else. Do you feel like you need to be on the podcast all the time now because most of us are on the computer all day, every day. The thing with that is what I'm seeing is that people are forgetting that we aren't all at home. Like you are, and I am, but people aren't back in the offices sometimes. Except around the world, it doesn't seem like it's going to stay that way. It looks like it's going back into a lockdown situation. But yeah, I was just kind of curious at what you thought about that.
So I guess the question would be, is it regarding the being on podcasts all the time, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
So if we step back and look at what I was doing prior to that, which was training, I've trained over 400 plus inbound foster and adopted families.
Wow.
And part of that is just, being able to tell my story. And I found that was very therapeutic for me to keep reminding myself that, it's not this constant, Dan, you're a piece of shit and you're not going to amount to anything in life.
Yeah.
It's, Dan, this is who you are now. And now there's none of that training going on that's really in person. They moved to all the distance learning.
Right.
And I don't do a lot of that anymore. And this is a great way to fill that void.
Who's here?
Hi, Ingvar.
Hi, Ingvar. Thank you
so much.
Thank you for showing up. She's a huge supporter of you too.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
it's filling that void, Jenny, that was there before when I was in person.
Right. And I think that's very important. And I was going to ask you more about. I know you were working with adoptive parents. So are they seeing that they're needing more of your help right now? Because the kids are at home, but I don't know how that works. Like, do they need to have more time with you to know how to handle the kids if they're not really doing as well?
I can give advice in generic, and I like giving, some maybe tips or tricks, from a parenting standpoint, but it's not a hard, fast rule for everybody. And I certainly like talking about, hi, Jason. So glad you showed up.
I'm so glad he showed up because actually he has something at 1:30. I said, you can just come on for a second, right?
I am so happy. I'm a
huge supporter of you.
Yeah. And I watched his YouTube video this past week, and oh my gosh, if you haven't seen his YouTube video.
Bacon? Bacon.
Imperfectly perfect. It just was blown away. I was almost in tears just watching it, and just wow, I just absolutely floored by his story.
It's a bacon. I'm telling you right now, it's a bacon.
I
was like, Jason, damn it. I'm like, why are you guys always doing this to me? Carl Sullivan's gonna win. He's gonna be like, she had to get the bacon again. Right? But I will tell you guys that Dan actually has bacon, but it's plastic bacon, but that's okay. Because it's still bacon. But yeah. Anyway, I really appreciate you just told us that, because there are probably a lot of parents out there that have adopted children, and maybe the kids aren't doing as well because they're not in school, and they're just not happy right now, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not in school. So they're not able to see their friends, or maybe they are now, right?
Yeah. What are the big joys of fostering special needs children? You want to know, Jason? This right here is one of the biggest joy. And there is no innuendo associated with this whatsoever. It's a Christmas present from my kids. And it reminds me every day that it's the little things that matter, not the big grandiose things.
Yeah.
It's the little things. When you have a child that is terrified to go to school because the fire alarm is going off, or the loudspeaker is just too loud for his ears. Autistic kids hear things at different frequencies and different levels that we do. And I know our son, he's there, he's like, what with that? I'll be like, what? I didn't hear it. And he hears things. And at first I thought it was, yeah, that's just crazy talk. But then, he's
No,
like, I hear it. And you can't hear it.
mhm.
And so my amazing wife, Tina's just like, they hear things at different frequencies.
Yeah.
And so the fire alarm and the loudspeaker set him off at school. And for him to get his socks on in the morning, and I think Jason talks about this in his YouTube video, something as trivial as putting your socks on is a triumph for him. He's terrified to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And every step of the way, you're his
Yeah.
biggest cheerleader. All right, buddy, come on, let's keep going. You can do it. You got your shirt to get on. You did awesome. You got dressed. Just that whole affirmation and positivity. And I'm going to reinforce that. Go small, or go home. Not go
I'm so
bigger.
glad you just said that because I think it's really important. We talked about this before. It's the little things. You have to call yourself out on the little things.
Mhm.
Like for me to get to the restroom today, over there. I was always pointing the wrong way, right? Over there. I mean, that took me like 10 minutes. And I did it. I did it the other day.
Yeah.
And I did it this morning, but it's hard. Like, it's hard. And I have to say to myself, you know what? But you did it. You got out of bed. You did it. So you have to think about those things. The fact that you can actually talk to your kids and say, hey, you know what? It's okay, you guys. It's okay. And you're not freaking out because you know how to calm yourself and you know how to calm them. With your calmness, it calms them too.
And to finish answering Jason's question,
yes.
the best part of working with our children is
Mm-hmm.
just the sense of accomplishment that they get and that you get in your heart. And you just, it's just a whole different level of Michael Way would call it the feels. It's a whole different kind of feels. You have those feels as parents, but when you know how much struggle and challenge that your kids are overcoming, it's just so overwhelming. It overwhelms you with emotion.
And up here, you might have seen it.
Look at that. Go small or go home.
Well, also Robert said it's all about showing up. It's all about showing up.
It
how
is.
you show up,
it is.
Right?
It is. It's knowing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's
That's
knowing
okay.
that it's knowing showing up is knowing that your kids don't give a shit whether you can die, if you would die tomorrow. You're still showing up, even though you know that they've told you that. I don't care. I could care less if you die tomorrow. They tell you that, but you're still showing up. I'm still here. Or here's a great tool tip for parents. You got a child that's like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. You're an idiot. And our response to that is, love you, love you. And now all the kids are saying it, and you're just reinforcing that. And so when any of our kids get wieldy, love you. And then all the other kids will be, they want to just get their claws into it too. And they know it aggravates. And they'll say, love you, love you, love you, love you. And it's just.
I remember you came on the Saturday show or Wednesday. I'm not sure which one it was. But you said that your son was just like right before he was like, and he was like, hey, Dad, I love you. In the morning, you're like, okay, and you have to switch in your brain because you're just like, he was just telling me he hated me like for how many hours, and then he's like, hey, I love you this morning. You're like, right, okay. It's kind of like adults saying the same thing, to each other, which is, I mean, I find that amazing about you, Daniel, because I'm not like that all the time. I'm just like, sometimes I can't switch to the other side again, and that's kind of what's going on with me.
Oh, it's not easy. I don't think I do all the time, Jenny. I'm human, just like the other person.
The thing is, we could, Robert's like, totally. Robert's gonna make you go off the rails right here.
Thank you, Robert.
Love you. And you're like, oh, great, thank you. But seriously though, I know you're not like that all the time. It would be very hard. But the love you redirect is very wonderful. That you say that to them and then they pick up on it. Look who's here.
Thank you, Jason.
Where do you think Bill Bradford is right now?
Hey, Flat Billy.
Flat Billy, where are you?
Yeah. Where you
Mention
at
that stuff.
today?
He's like, I don't
Mention
know
that
if
in the
I'm kind of flat
comments.
right now. Yeah, Billy, why don't you, or Bill, Billy, Bill, why don't you tell us where you are right now if you're not flat? Please don't be flat. I mean, I know the rocks are falling in California on top of cars, but that's not good for you. I don't want that to happen to you. But I think this is very interesting now because, I have questions, but I really like all these other people asking questions because we all know he's in Indy. Oh,
Yeah.
well, don't get run over by a car.
Indeed.
Right? Wow. He's always somewhere. I'm really bummed out, though, that Bill Bradford was not at the Michigan game because guess what? We won. We won, and that was going on during the 4-hour show, and I said, sorry, you guys, but I'm just going to have to blow you guys off today because it's the Michigan State game.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah, that was going on. But so Bill, maybe you can go next year. Right? So Michigan State will win again. Kind of the underdogs. But we always are the underdogs, but we usually pull through if we can. So anyway, does anybody else have any questions for my wonderful guest, Daniel? And Daniel, is there anything else you would like to tell people about your beautiful life?
A huge shout out to my son, Ethan. He is just an amazing soul. His mom has done an amazing job of raising him, and we are still friends. And that's Ethan is my son from my first marriage. Tina is what I call my forever wife. She's just such an amazing person. eHarmony got it right when they matched us up. Although she will brag that she was still in the trial phase of the eHarmony while I had already paid for my subscription, like a full year. And it was like a week later, I found Tina, and now it's in about 9 days, we'll be 16 years together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time. Well, congratulations on that. Seriously.
Yeah.
By the way, look who's here. Juana's here.
Hi, Juana.
Hi,
so
Juana.
Great to see you.
It's great to see her, isn't it?
Yes.
It's really, I love that she said that. Oh, look who else is here. Oh, see, everybody's like, oh, they're almost gone now, so we're just all going to show up right now.
Rush, you and I need to talk. You and I need to talk, buddy.
You know what? But we're talking. Well, Russ and I are going to be talking at the end of the month. So maybe you can show up.
I'll have to show up.
You have to show up on that one. Oh, let's see here. Well, Bill's like, he just dialed in. Oh, there you go. Jason.
It's thank you, Jason. Not quite 16 years yet, but 16 years together.
Yeah.
And I'll take 15 seconds and tell you about our first date real quick. It involves boots and it involves chains. Maybe I should just leave it at that. Boots
wow.
And chains.
That's I can guess on that one.
It was
I'm not going to go down that road, but I can.
It was at the Baltimore Aquarium, and Tina lifted her leg up. She thought she lifted it up enough, and the chain flipped her up. She came right down, tore off 2 of her nails. That's how our first date was. And it had just, we always joke that she fell for me on our first date. So
that's hilarious. So it looks like Bill Bradford just said, he just dialed in, do you homeschool the kids?
No. All of them are in regular general ed, and even our son with autism, he's in grade 3. He's got a para with him. If you don't know what a para is, it's an aide that's with him the entire day from start to finish. And he's just such an amazing soul. Sometimes you'll see him on Shoutout Saturday. That's Parker, when you see Mr. Parker.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's always fun.
Yeah. No homeschooling, only when we were forced to have distance learning with COVID, which was a nightmare.
I think I was on a podcast when you were doing that, when you were saying you were having to do that. And Nancy Barrows, she was like totally trying to help you with that. It seemed like maybe she's like, hey, kids, come on to 4-hour show.
I love Juana's question.
Yes.
Do you still cope with intrusive thoughts from your past traumas?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's always subconscious. And this type of stuff really helps with that, you know, getting on and talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, at the end of the day, I look at it this way, Juana. Everything I've done in my life, I do not want to go back and tell my younger self, you know, you should have been this way or you should have been that way.
No.
If I had done that, I wouldn't be here talking to the amazing Jenny Gold. I would not have my family or the tribe that I have on LinkedIn. And I would not trade that for the world. So the past traumas are past traumas. And what I do now in life, it just helps me to keep moving forward. Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate you, man.
I'm really happy that Jason showed up.
Yeah.
He's had a big day already today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I completely agree with what you just said, because if I didn't get Lyme disease, which I would wish on my worst enemy, I would not be in the situation I'm in right now. Like, I wouldn't have met all of you guys. I wouldn't have started telling my story, because I've always been like very backovish about it, because I didn't want it to affect what I was doing with my world and with my corporate world when I was in corporate America for years. And so I was kind of trying to hide it. And I've learned from many of you not to hide it anymore. And I'm glad that you're speaking about your family, because you've never hidden it. But I think it's very important that you're speaking about it to all of us, because all of us can be affected by things like this too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So thank you, though, for everything.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to ask you one more time, Daniel. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? I love it when you're talking about stuff like this.
So one of the things that I love to tell people is how much I appreciate them taking time out of their lives to make it about us or our family. Right now, it's about you and I.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we never get that time back, and they could have chosen to do 100 different things, 1,000 different things.
Right.
And the fact that they spent some time with us, that's just priceless.
It's
and I
very
appreciate
priceless.
that so much.
We have a lot of people to thank today, don't we, Daniel?
Yeah.
We have Ingor, we have Tim, we have Jason Freeman, Russ Hedge. We have
Emily was here.
Emily was here. Bill Bradford, who's like, we never know where he is. It's like, where is he?
Well, he's here.
He is here.
He was here. He was
It's
here.
very exciting, though, that he came in. Robert Murray. I mean, come on. He's in the tundra right now.
Hey, Robert, I still want the aurora, the northern lights. If you can get a video of that, kids really want to see it.
Wow. Is it still going on right now?
I don't know.
He probably has a videotape of that anyway. Alex Chambers is here. How can I forget about Alex?
That's right, Alex. Thank you so much.
Saved my life one Saturday. And yeah, I think we've got everybody on here. But there's a lot of people that showed up to support you and myself. Jamie was on too.
Thank you, Jamie.
Jamie was on. My LinkedIn user friend.
Yeah.
Hey,
Juana was here, yeah.
Yeah. So he needs to the StreamYard, Jamie, you're gonna have to do what you gotta do so you can show up. So I was like, where is that? Who's that person? It's so funny when that happens. But yeah, so thank you, everybody. Any more questions from the peanut gallery? You can ask him anything you want. He's an open book. Right, Daniel?
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Bill Bradford just said AC. Hello. Who's AC? Is he in the air conditioning?
Alex Chambers.
Alex
Chambers. Yeah.
I guess I'm not that hip. And here's.
Okay.
And
he wants me to say love.
Yeah.
Love,
exactly.
Love.
And Mark just showed up too. Anyway, you guys,
hi, Mark.
Thank you so much for showing up today. I really appreciate it. I know Daniel appreciates it. And Daniel, I did not have to pull out the bacon. Almost, but I held it back. Because this is a very important topic to me, regarding the children and everything. Even though I don't have kids, it doesn't matter. I've met a lot of families that have adopted children that have had different issues, and I don't like to say issues, but different struggles.
Atlantic City or Alex Chambers.
Yeah, I know. See, I'm like, I don't know. Alex, you have really come a long way on LinkedIn Live, haven't you? Oh, look who else is here.
What's your favorite? Dimitri. Dimitri, yes. One of my favorite, I'm editing those videos that you all sent and for Voice Your Vibe and Brian Schulman. And one of my favorite ones is when it was editing that the video asking for the videos. Dimitri was there and he's like, "Rawr." It was like one of my favorite images, and so I appreciate you showing up.
Hey, did you get the one of me dropping my phone while I was recording it?
No. Oh, yes, maybe. I watched.
I was like, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. I was like, wow. I like just dropped the phone. I'm like, okay, everybody, I'm back.
No, I've gone through all the audio. I haven't looked at all the video yet. So I have to make sure the audio's clean. It doesn't have any music in it.
No.
So I've made it through all of those. I haven't gone through and looked at the videos yet.
Yeah. So. I'm glad we went over a half hour. Because guess what? We went over a half hour and it's in 46 minutes and
alternating currents AC.
Yep. Exactly. That's you. Alex right there. Alex is not that far from me. As is Travis. He's not that far from me. We're like, he's up here. Alex is up here. And Travis is down here, so I'm right in the middle.
Wow.
And Emily's going to be almost a little bit further there with their daughter. So
that's cool. Yeah, you know who lives close to me, don't you? Raquel Boris.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, she lives down where I used to work. I worked there for 7 years down in Leesburg, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Used to be West Coast or East Coaster and West Coaster. Yeah. Right? Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh. So you never know about Tim. AC is apple and cranberries. Of course, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dimitri just said he appreciates you.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much for coming on the show with me today. Daniel, how can people get in touch with you? I think everybody
right here on LinkedIn. I'm not much of a Facebook person. I get on there when I have to, and but yeah, Velociraptors are still alive. All right.
You know why? Because they're like melting in the ice up there, so they're showing up, right? Oh, see, Tim is like always caring.
Always caring. I like that. That's always a great way. That's a great way to end the AC.
Yes.
Always caring.
Yeah, exactly.
Love
it. Daniel, thank you so much. I think everybody on here already knows us, but for those of you who are watching the replay, can you please do hashtag replay, and that will really help. And also, that's Daniel Hall. Excuse me, Daniel Hall's right there. So I'm like, he's right there. I know I never get these. I still haven't gotten that, but it's okay because people love us anyway, right?
Or, Jenny's right there.
I'm like right here. I'm here and here, and I don't know where I am here. Anyway, though. Oh, geez, oh, peace. Now. Oh, his chickens are.
The chickens, are velociraptors, yes.
I really think they're melting in the ice caps.
Come on, all you velociraptors. Come on.
They're just showing up, video. Right? Oh, yeah. Ingor just reminded me to do hashtag live. Right. I've had a couple months off of here, so I don't remember all the little nuances, right? But anyway, I'm so happy everyone came on today. And please get ready because next Tuesday, guess who's going to be on? DJ.
DJ.
DJ is going to be on
Absolutely
next.
love her.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
Yeah, I love her
her.
too. It's time to have her on. So anyway, you guys, have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Please stay safe, stay warm, depending on where you are.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome. Thanks so much, Danielle.